Hello, my dear friends. Today, I'm sharing my personal journey on a topic that many people ask me about: how to practice English alone every day. It's something I struggled with for a long time, and I know I'm not alone. If you're trying to improve your English but don't always have someone to practice with, I want you to know that it is possible. And not just possible, it can be enjoyable, meaningful, and truly life-changing. Let me introduce myself first before I dive into my full story. My name is Emma Carter. I'm 20 years old, and I'm a college student here in Austin, Texas, United States. I'm currently majoring in communications, but I wasn't always confident with English, especially speaking and expressing myself clearly. You might be surprised because I was born and raised in the US, but English didn't come easy for me. My parents are originally from South Korea, and at home, we mostly spoke Korean. So even though I grew up surrounded by English, I was always a little behind when it came to thinking in English and using it naturally in conversations. People often think that if you live in an English-speaking country, everything becomes easy. But that's not true. I was always quiet in class. I hesitated to raise my hand or participate in group discussions. Even simple conversations gave me anxiety. I used to sit at the back of the classroom, secretly practicing sentences in my head before saying them out loud. It felt like everyone else was so smooth and confident, and I was the only one who had to work so hard just to speak one proper sentence. But everything changed when I decided to practice English alone, every day, in my own way. And today, I want to share with you exactly what I did, how I turned my biggest weakness into one of my biggest strengths. So, if you're someone trying to speak better English and you feel like you're stuck or alone in this journey, this story is for you. It all started one afternoon during my first year of college. I remember sitting in my dorm room after a communications class. The professor had asked a simple question about the reading, and my heart was beating so fast. I wanted to answer. I knew the answer. But when I opened my mouth, nothing came out. After class, I went back to my room feeling embarrassed. That night, I told myself something had to change. I couldn't go through life avoiding conversations. I needed to find a way to practice English, even if I had to do it completely alone. So, I created a simple rule for myself. Every single day, I will practice English, even if no one is around. At first, I didn't know where to start. But then, I broke it down into 4 simple parts. 1. Talking to myself. This might sound weird, but it became my number one habit. I started talking to myself in English throughout the day. When I was brushing my teeth, I'd say out loud, "Okay, Emma, you have class at 9, and then lunch with Sophie at noon." When I was walking to class, I'd describe what I saw. "The weather is cloudy today. I see students riding bikes. That guy is wearing a red hoodie." At first, it felt awkward, but slowly it became natural. I began to think in English. My thoughts were no longer just in Korean or silent images. They became English sentences. It made a huge difference in how fast I could speak because I was training my brain to stay in English mode. 2. Daily voice recordings. Every night, before going to bed, I'd open my phone and record a 1-minute voice diary in English. I talked about my day, what I learned, what I felt, or what I was looking forward to. For example, today was a stressful day. I had a quiz in biology and I think I did okay, but I need to study more. Then I'd listen to the recording and pay attention to my pronunciation, fluency, and grammar. Sometimes I'd laugh at my mistakes, but over time, I noticed that I was getting more fluent. It's one thing to speak. It's another thing to listen to yourself and grow from it. 3. Shadowing practice with videos. I discovered this technique called shadowing. Basically, you play a video in English, like a TED Talk, a YouTube video, or even a movie scene, and you repeat what the speaker says, at the same time, copying their tone, pronunciation, and speed. My favorite videos were short inspirational talks or scenes from shows like Friends. I'd listen to Rachel or Monica and try to copy them word for word. I did this for 15 minutes every morning. It was like doing vocal exercises, but for English. It helped me a lot with speaking clearly and confidently. 4. Writing one paragraph a day. I kept a small notebook just for English writing. Every day I wrote one paragraph about anything: my goals, my dreams, my mood, or even a review of a movie I watched. For example, I watched a movie called The Intern today. I liked the character of Ben because he was kind and wise. I learned that age doesn't stop you from being useful. Writing daily helped me improve my grammar and vocabulary. It also gave me topics to talk about when I was practicing speaking. Over time, I noticed that my writing was becoming more expressive, and I was using better sentence structures without even thinking about it. My mindset changed. The biggest transformation wasn't just in my speaking, it was in my confidence. I started enjoying English. It became a part of me, not something I feared. I remember the moment I realized how far I had come. It was during a group project in my second year. The professor asked for a volunteer to present our work, and without thinking, I raised my hand. I spoke clearly, shared our research, and answered questions. After the class, my teammate Kevin said, "Emma, you're really good at explaining things. I thought you were shy." I laughed and said, "I used to be, but I practiced." Alone. Some extra tips I want to share: mirror practice. Stand in front of the mirror and have fake conversations. Pretend someone is asking you questions, and you respond. It boosts your fluency and body language at the same time. English thinking habit. When you see something, try to describe it in English, even in your head. Like, "The coffee is hot," or "That girl is running fast." It's simple but powerful. Set a time for English. I had a rule: 30 minutes of English practice every day, no matter what. Even on my busiest days, I kept that promise to myself. Learn phrases, not just words. Instead of memorizing individual words, I learned full phrases like, "I'm looking forward to," or "It depends on," because that's how real conversations flow. Today, I feel free now. I help other students who struggle with English. I lead a small English conversation group at my college, and I often meet international students who feel the same way I did. When they ask me, "How can I practice English when I'm alone?" I tell them exactly what I did. I tell them that English isn't about being perfect. It's about being brave enough to keep speaking, even when it feels hard. It's about making English a part of your daily life, not just something you study in books. And most of all, I tell them, talk to yourself like you're your best friend. That's how you grow. And so Emma's journey continued, day by day, each moment brimming with small but powerful opportunities to weave English into the fabric of her life. That Monday morning, as the first rays of light filtered through her New York apartment window, Emma Carter stretched and whispered to herself in English, "What a beautiful start to the week. Today I will practice my pronunciation again." She padded to her kitchen, narrating every action. "I'm filling the kettle. Now I'm pouring hot water into my mug. Perfect for a cup of tea." Over her steaming chamomile, She reviewed the new idioms she'd jotted in her notebook the night before: break the ice, hit the books, and on cloud nine. She read each phrase aloud, savoring the rhythm of the words. Somewhere between hit the books and on cloud nine, she caught herself smiling. Sounds silly, but it felt like she was giving herself a gift. By 9 a.m., Emma was on her way to the subway. Instead of scrolling through social media in her native language, she pressed play on an English podcast, English at Work. As the host discussed workplace expressions, Emma repeated sentences under her breath. Let's circle back. I'll take that offline. I appreciate your feedback. A fellow commuter glanced her way, and Emma simply continued, confident that even muted practice was practice. At her office desk, Emma opened her email drafts. She had promised her conversation partner, Raj from Chicago, that she would send him a short essay about her weekend. With careful attention, she wrote, Hi Raj, this weekend I visited Central Park. The weather was crisp and sunny, perfect for a stroll. I noticed how the cherry blossoms are starting to bloom. It felt magical. I practiced describing everything in English, like a live commentary. It helped me notice new vocabulary and phrases. How was your weekend? She paused, read it aloud to herself, corrected a minor tense error, and hit send. During lunch, she met her friend Mike in a cafe on Fifth Avenue. Mike's a native speaker, and they'd agreed to chat in English for 30 minutes. Today's topic, travel. Emma began, Mike, I've been thinking about visiting Boston next month. I've heard there are wonderful museums and historical sites. Mike nodded, asked questions, and gently corrected her pronunciation of Massachusetts. She remembered the little Massachusetts trick. Each correction was a stepping stone, not a setback. Back at home that evening, Emma settled on her couch with a new short story collection by Jhumpa Lahiri. She read the first paragraph aloud, savoring the cadence. When she came across melancholy, she paused to sound it out. Melancholy. She noted it in her vocabulary notebook under emotions. Then she switched on the subtitles of a documentary about street art. Another layer of listening practice. Before bed, Emma opened her journal app and typed a quick entry. Today I felt more confident. Talking with Mike was fun, and I didn't freeze once. I'm proud of how far I've come. She hit save, knowing that reflecting on her progress was just as crucial as the practice itself. As days turned into weeks, Emma's routine solidified. She began to dream in English, snippets of conversations, descriptions of her room, even monologues about her plans. One night, she woke up and laughed to herself, thinking in perfect sentences about her morning coffee. I can't wait to read more tomorrow. On a Friday afternoon, her manager Laura called her into the conference room. Emma felt a flicker of nerves. What if her English was still not good enough? But as she sat down, Laura smiled and said, Emma, I've noticed your presentations have improved so much. Your confidence is shining through, and your language skills have really leveled up. Emma's heart swelled. All those quiet mornings, every solo narration, every podcast repeat, it had paid off. That weekend, Emma decided to treat herself. She signed up for an improv comedy workshop in English, an idea that would have terrified her a month ago. But now, she thrived on the challenge. Standing in front of strangers, she practiced yes-ending every suggestion, launching into spontaneous scenes. She stumbled on a few words, laughed it off, and kept going. She began encountering new challenges, and with them, deeper opportunities to refine her daily habits. One Monday morning, her manager at the marketing firm where she worked approached her with an unexpected request. "I've heard you've been practicing your English so diligently," he said, sliding a proposal folder across her desk. "We'd like you to present our Q2 strategy to the leadership team next week. Would you be comfortable doing that in English?" Emma felt her heart race. It was one thing to chat with friends or narrate her routines. It was another to stand before the executives of a multinational company. Yet she realized that this was the perfect next step to push her skills even further. Preparing for the big presentation one. Script writing in English. That evening, Emma sat down with her notebook, where she normally jotted daily journal entries. But this time, she sketched out the structure of her presentation: introduction, key data points, recommended actions, conclusion, all in English. She wrote full sentences, practicing transitions like, "Good morning, everyone. Today, I'll walk you through our performance metrics and propose actionable steps to accelerate growth." She refined each sentence until it felt natural when spoken out loud. 2. Shadowing native speakers. To perfect her intonation, Emma used a shadowing technique. She found a TED Talk by a marketing expert and played it sentence by sentence. She'd pause the video, then immediately repeat the line, matching the speaker's rhythm and stress. Innovation is not just about products, it's about mindset. By the end of the week, she could mimic the tone and pacing, which gave her spoken English a more authentic, engaging quality. 3. Visualization and self-talk each night before bed. Emma spent 5 minutes visualizing herself on stage. She pictured herself standing confidently, making eye contact, and smoothly moving through her slides. As she visualized, she conducted positive self-talk in English. "I am prepared. My ideas are clear. I will speak with confidence." This mental rehearsal helped calm her nerves and reinforced her habit of thinking in English, even under stress. The day of the presentation. On Wednesday morning, Emma woke up early and followed her usual routine, but with one extra step. She recorded herself reading the first few slides aloud, then listened to the recording while making breakfast. This final auditory check helped her catch any lingering pronunciation issues. Walking into the boardroom, she felt her heart pounding, but she remembered her daily habit. Mistakes are opportunities to learn. She greeted the executives with a warm, "Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to share our Q2 strategy." Her voice wavered slightly at first, but then steadied as she moved into the data. Throughout the presentation, she used simple, clear language and natural gestures. When she stumbled on a tricky phrase, she paused briefly, smiled, and corrected herself. "Our projected revenue growth is, excuse me, anticipated to be around 12%. The room nodded encouragingly, and by the end, she received applause and positive feedback on both her content and delivery. Reflecting and building on success. That evening, Emma logged into her journal app and wrote in English about the day's experience. Today was a milestone. I faced my fear, and English felt like an ally, not an obstacle. She noted which parts of her preparation had been most helpful: shadowing, visualization, script writing, and planned to integrate them into her ongoing routine. New habit: teaching others. Buoyed by her success, Emma decided to give back. She volunteered to lead a weekly English Corner at the office, a casual 15-minute gathering where colleagues could practice conversational English together. She prepared simple prompts: discuss a recent news article, share weekend plans, debate a marketing trend, and facilitated the discussion, gently correcting mistakes and encouraging everyone to speak without fear. Teaching became yet another habit that reinforced her own skills. Explaining grammar or vocabulary to others deepened her understanding and made her more mindful of her own usage. Beyond the office. Community engagement. Emma's journey didn't stop at work. She began attending a local book club that read contemporary English novels, contributing her thoughts on character development and plot twists. She also signed up for a Toastmasters club in her neighborhood, where she delivered short speeches and received structured feedback on both content and delivery. In the library cafe after one meeting, she realized how far she'd come. Once she would have avoided these situations entirely. Now, she sought them out eagerly. Sustaining momentum. To keep the momentum going, Emma set quarterly goals in her journal. Q3. Listen to one new podcast series and discuss it with a partner. Quarter 4. Read and summarize a nonfiction book for the book club. Q1 next year. Deliver a 10-minute speech at Toastmasters without notes. By setting clear, measurable objectives, she ensured her habits remained purposeful. Emma's transformation. A year after she first decided to integrate English into her daily life, Emma reflected on her transformation. She no longer hesitated when speaking. Her thoughts flowed easily in English. She secured a promotion, in part because of her confident communication. She had made new friends through language exchanges and community groups, many of whom became close companions. Most importantly, she discovered that language learning is not a destination, but an ongoing journey, one enriched by curiosity, consistency, and a willingness to embrace every opportunity to practice. I will give you many useful tips and tricks with full details and real-life examples. Let's begin with a clear understanding. First, understand the key rule. Consistency is more important than intensity. That means practicing 20 minutes daily is better than 2 hours once a week. Even if you are busy, just follow these habits every single day. Your improvement will be magical. Now let's explore different areas of learning and how to practice each one alone. 1. Speaking practice. Even if you're alone, many learners think, how can I speak English when nobody is around? The truth is, you don't need another person to speak. You just need to speak. Here are some powerful solo speaking methods. A. Mirror talk. Self-talk in front of mirror. What to do? Stand in front of a mirror. Choose any topic: your day, your dreams, your goals. Talk to yourself like you are talking to someone else. Watch your facial expressions and body language. Example: Hi, my name is Ravi. Today I woke up at 6:30. I brushed my teeth and went for a walk. The weather was really nice. Why it works. You become more confident. You get comfortable seeing yourself speak. You overcome fear and shyness. B. Describe what you're doing. Daily actions. What to do. Talk aloud while doing everyday activities. Example. While cooking. Now I'm cutting vegetables. I'm adding salt. It smells good. While cleaning. I'm cleaning the floor. The mop is very wet today. Why it works. It helps you build vocabulary related to daily life. You think in English naturally. C. Record your voice. What to do. Take your phone. Record yourself talking for 1 to 2 minutes. Choose a topic like my favorite food or my best friend. Later, listen and find mistakes. Example. Today, I want to talk about my best friend. Her name is Priya. She is very kind. Why it works. You hear your pronunciation. You become aware of grammar or vocabulary mistakes. D. Shadowing technique. Repeat after native speakers. What to do. Play a short English video or podcast, 1 to 2 minutes. Listen carefully and repeat exactly like the speaker. Copy their tone, speed, and rhythm. Example. Use videos like TED Talks, YouTube English conversations, or movie dialogues. Why it works. Improves pronunciation. Trains your mouth to speak English smoothly. You learn natural expressions. 2. Listening practice. Input makes output. To speak better, you must listen more. Listening builds vocabulary, understanding, and speaking rhythm. Here are solo listening strategies. A. Listen to English podcasts or audiobooks daily. What to do. Find simple English podcasts, like The English We Speak or English Class 101. Listen for 15 to 30 minutes daily. Pause and repeat new words. Example. Listen while walking, cooking, or commuting. Why it works. Trains your ears for natural English. You learn slang, expressions, and pronunciation. B. Watch English movies or series with subtitles. What to do. Choose simple series, like Friends, Extra English, or cartoons. Use English subtitles, not your native language. Read and listen at the same time. Example. Watch 10 to 15 minutes a day. Note down phrases like, "Come on," "What's going on?" "I'm not sure about that." Why it works. You see real English in use. You learn how native speakers talk. C. Dictation practice. What to do. Listen to a sentence and write it down. Then check your spelling and grammar. You can use YouTube videos or language apps. Why it works. Trains your listening plus writing plus spelling. Boosts memory of sentence structure. 3. Reading practice. Read to learn structure. Reading improves your grammar, vocabulary, and sentence patterns. Here are smart reading techniques. A. Read aloud every day, 10 to 15 minutes. What to do. Choose easy storybooks, English blogs, or newspapers. Read them loudly to practice speaking too. Don't rush. Speak clearly. Example. Read children's books like The Little Prince or English news apps like The Hindu, easy version. Why it works. Improves fluency. Strengthens word recognition and confidence. B. Read and retell what to do. Read a short story, 5 to 10 lines. Then close the book and try to say it in your own words. Example. Read. Tom went to the market. He bought apples. He met his friend Sam. Retell. Tom visited the market and purchased apples. There, he met his friend Sam. Why it works. Builds speaking and memory. Helps you think in English. C. Vocabulary notebook from reading what to do. While reading, write 5 new words daily. Add the meaning and 1 example sentence. Example. Word. Curious meaning. Eager to know something. Sentence. She was curious about the new student. Why it works. Expands vocabulary. Repetition builds memory. 4. Writing practice. Think in English through writing. Writing helps you organize thoughts in English and practice grammar. A. Keep an English journal. What to do? Write about your day every night before sleeping. Start with 5 to 6 sentences. Example. Today I went to the market. I bought fresh vegetables. I saw my old friend Rahul. Why it works. Builds sentence-making skill. Helps you express emotions in English. B. Write on random topics, what to do. Choose a topic each day like my favorite movie, my dream job, my family. Write 1 paragraph, 5 to 10 lines. Why it works. Improves grammar and idea formation. Makes writing fun and personal. C. Comment on YouTube, Instagram in English. What to do. Watch English videos. Write your thoughts and comments in English. Example. I loved this video. The explanation was very clear. Why it works. Helps you use English socially. You get comfortable writing short sentences. 5. Thinking in English, the real game changer. If you start thinking in English, you will speak faster and more naturally. A. Change inner voice to English. What to do? When you are alone, talk in your mind in English. Example. Instead of मैं बाजार जा रहा हूँ, think I am going to the market. Why it works. Makes English natural to your brain. You stop translating from your native language. B. Ask questions to yourself in English. What to do? In your mind, ask, what should I cook today? What time is it now? What do I feel right now? Why it works. Builds confidence and fluency. Keeps English active all day. 6. Use technology smartly. Use your phone and internet as a learning tool. A. Language apps. Use apps like Duolingo, HelloTalk, Cake app, Elsa, Speak. They help with vocabulary, pronunciation, and daily challenges. B. Talk to chatbots or AI, like ChatGPT. Ask questions, write conversations, practice writing. Example. You. Hi, how are you today? Chatbot. I'm doing great. How about you? Why it works. Simulates real conversation. Immediate feedback. C. Change device language to English, change your phone or laptop language to English. Why it works. Daily exposure to English words. Boosts vocabulary passively. 7. Make a daily English routine. Sample plan. Here's a sample daily plan you can follow alone. Morning, 10 minutes. Listen to a short podcast while brushing or preparing breakfast. Afternoon, 15 minutes. Watch 1 short English video and shadow the speaker. Evening, 15 minutes. Speak in front of the mirror or describe your actions. Night, 20 minutes. Write a daily journal. Read an article or story. Think in English before sleeping. 11. Shadowing native speakers. One afternoon, Emma discovered the technique of shadowing. She chose a short TED Talk by a speaker she admired. Let's say, Amy Cuddy's Your Body Language May Shape Who You Are. She played a 1-minute excerpt, then immediately replayed it, and spoke simultaneously with Amy, trying to match her rhythm, intonation, and pauses. Your body language shapes who you are. Your body language. At first, her timing was off. But after a week of daily 5-minute shadowing sessions, she noticed her intonation and natural pauses sounded far more native-like. 12. Using spaced repetition flashcards. To cement new vocabulary, Emma turned to an app that employs spaced repetition. It reminds you of words just before you're likely to forget them. Every morning, she'd spend 10 minutes answering flashcards. She added not just single words, but example sentences she encountered to cultivate a habit. I was astonished by the results. By reviewing on a scientifically optimized schedule, she retained far more vocabulary with minimal effort. 13. Creating micro-immersion moments. Rather than waiting for large blocks of time, Emma sprinkled 1 to 2-minute micro-immersion sessions throughout her day. For instance, while waiting for her tea to brew, she'd read a tweet in English and reply. Listen to the first line of a song and sing it back. Dictate her grocery list into her phone's voice-to-text feature in English. These bite-sized practices kept her brain in English mode all day long. 14. Recording and reviewing herself once a week, Emma recorded a 1-minute monologue on her phone. She talked about her weekend plans, a news article she'd read, or simply reflected on her progress. Then she'd play it back. Did she hesitate? Were there pronunciation errors? How was her pacing? She noted down 2 areas to improve before her next recording. Over a month, she saw her fluency become smoother and her confidence soar. 15. Setting smart goals. Emma realized consistency meant little without direction. So she began setting SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound goals each month. April goal: learn and actively use 30 new aviation-related words in sentences by April 30th. May goal: hold 3 20-minute English-only Zoom calls with my conversation partner. Every week, she ticked off milestones, and by month end, she could clearly see her growth. Every week, she ticked off milestones, and by month end, she could clearly see her growth. Emma's weekly English routine. To tie it all together, here's a snapshot of Emma's typical week. Monday, 5 minutes shadowing, plus 10 minutes spaced repetition, plus journal entry. Tuesday, 15 minutes podcast listening, plus micro immersion bursts, plus self-recording. Wednesday, 5 minutes shadowing, plus 30 minutes conversation exchange, plus flashcards. Thursday, read 1 news article, plus summarize aloud, plus journal entry. Friday, 5-minute shadowing, plus watch an English movie scene, plus write a short story. Saturday, group meetup at a local English cafe, plus vocabulary review. Sunday, rest day, but still micro-immersed, morning tweet, evening song. By structuring her time, Emma balanced intensive bursts, like conversation exchanges, with light touch points, like micro-immersions, ensuring she never burned out. Overcoming plateaus. At around month 3, Emma hit a plateau. Her progress felt slower, and she became frustrated. She tackled this by analyzing weak spots. Noticing she still struggled with phrasal verbs, she devoted 2 weeks to learning the 50 most common ones. Switching input styles. If she'd been watching British English shows, she switched to American accent content, or vice versa, to retrain her ear. Joining a book club. She signed up for a local, virtual book club that read one novella per month, giving her a structured speaking task at month's end. By identifying bottlenecks and adapting her habits, she broke through the plateau and continued improving. Reflecting and celebrating milestones. Every month, Emma reviewed her journal and recordings, then treated herself when she hit milestones. After 3 months, she celebrated by buying a new English language novel. After 6 months, she met up with her conversation partner in person at a coffee shop, in English only. After 9 months, she gave a 5-minute talk, in English, at a local Toastmasters club. Celebrations reinforced her intrinsic motivation, making the hard work feel rewarding. Emma's story shows that real mastery of English isn't an overnight transformation. It's a tapestry woven from countless small, intentional actions. By layering basic habits, thinking and speaking daily, with advanced techniques, shadowing, SMART goals, self-recording, she built a habit ecosystem that propelled her fluency forward. If you follow in Emma Carter's footsteps, mixing consistency with reflection, enjoyment with challenge, you'll find your English skills blossoming too. Keep going, stay curious, and remember, every moment you spend in English is an investment in your future.